talk about Keith Thurman, it's mainly about Keith Thurman. You know, I understand he's fighting Josesito Lopez. No disrespect to Josesito Lopez, but Keith Thurman should dominate this fight. Hands down, Keith Thurman should dominate this fight. Yes, I know he's coming off a layoff. Yes, is he's coming off a couple injuries, hand injury, elbow injury prior to that, and it's going to be some rust there. But Josesito Lopez, he's a tough competitor. He comes to fight, but Keith Thurman should beat this guy off a layoff. You know what I'm saying? Keith Thurman should be able to come off a year and a half, almost 2 years, and beat Josesito Lopez, if not knock him out and stop him. And if Keith Thurman struggles in this fight, what's up, man? If Keith Thurman struggles in this fight, or have struggles in this fight with Josesito Lopez, now would I be surprised by it? No, but that, to me, that's a sign of some decline in Keith Thurman. If he gets into this fight and he struggles, I'm talking about the fight is competitive, like the whole fight is competitive, and it goes to the scorecards. You know what I'm saying? I'm expecting, if Keith Thurman don't knock him out, I'm expecting Keith Thurman to dominate the fight, like pretty much dominate the fight. I suspect Keith Thurman's going to do that. It's a lot of people that have been disrespecting Keith Thurman, man. Disrespecting what this guy has accomplished. They don't understand that Keith Thurman was the unified champion at 147. He had defeated, not Mikey Garcia, but he had defeated Danny Garcia, to become unified. So he had a WBA and a WBC. And yes, he had injuries, but Keith Thurman, he had beat every opponent that he got in the ring with. A lot of them he dominated. He beat, welterweights that are still ranked in the welterweight division right now, in Sean Porter and Danny Garcia. He defeated them back to back. No one is doing that in the welterweight division. Nobody is defeating back to back top 10 welterweights, even right now, or even when Keith Thurman was injured and not fighting or competing for about a year and a half. None of those fighters were fighting back to back welterweights ranked in the top 10. This is not my opinion. This is fact. This is not my opinion. Once again, this is fact. It has nothing to do with what I think, what I feel, what my emotions are, where my heart is, who's pulling my heartstrings. No, that's fact. That's fact. Now, you can anybody, we can all say who's the best at welterweight, because they have not all fought, or no one has collected all the belts. So it's opinionated. We can go back and forth with each other's opinions, but I'm not going to go back and forth with facts. Now, if you can't handle or understand a fact, that's on you. That's for you to decipher. That's for you to sit in your on your living room couch, or lie in your bed and try to bang your head up against that steel cage, trying to get around facts. The fact of the matter is, Keith Thurman is undefeated. The fact of the matter is, he was unified. The fact of the matter is, he defeated 2 back-to-back welterweights ranked in the top 10 that are ranked in the top 10 right now today, in Sean Porter and Danny Garcia. He gave Danny Garcia his first loss. He gave Sean Porter his second loss. So you can say what you want to say about Keith Thurman, you know what I'm saying, and you have your right to your opinion, but a lot of this stuff is over. Look, it's a lot of soap operas in this YouTube stuff, man. People use this as a soap opera box. You know what I'm saying? It's like One Life to Live, a General Hospital on this mug. And it's a bunch of men on here. It's like, there's some women on here, but it's like 99% men on here. And it's a lot of men on here that are operating with a lot of estrogen, man, that's acting like, women, or overly emotional like a woman. Like, a woman is driven by her emotions. A man should be driven by logic, for the most part. I'm not saying you walk around and you're a robot, but what separates a man and a woman mentality is, for the most part, a man. When you a man, not a male, when you are a man, You supposed to operate largely off of logic, not your heart or what you want something to be, how you want a certain thing to be, and it's not that. You know what I'm saying? So people can say, "Oh, Keith Thurman is scared of this fighter. He's scared of that fighter. He's scared of this fighter." You can say that. That's your opinion. Like I can come back and say, you know what I'm saying, a certain fighter that you like in the welterweight division is sidestepping this fighter. For the most part, they all are trying to get a leg up on each other. They all are trying to get an advantage so they can be successful. So to say any of these fighters in the welterweight division or in fighting period don't want an advantage over their opponent, they'll be lying to you. Is sports, anything you compete in is about advantages. Who has the advantage? Who's in the situation to be successful? That's what it comes down to, man. You know what I'm saying? So I believe Keith Thurman is still the best welterweight because he has the accolades in the ring performance to prove it. That's not my opinion. You know what I'm saying? The fact that he has the accolades and he's the only unified welterweight over the last what? I believe 10 years. No, 5 years. Five. My fault. Not 5. Not 10 years. About 5 or 6 years. I know Mayweather beat Pacquiao to win the WBA, but the WBO, but Mayweather never paid the money for the belt to go around his waist. He didn't want to pay the sanctioning fees. So yes, he won the fight, but he don't get the prize because you have to pay for it. You have to pay sanctioning fees. So Keith Thurman have done things in the welterweight division that these guys like Terrence Crawford, who I believe is the best fighter in the world, and Sean Porter and Earl Spence and Danny Garcia and all these other welterweights. Even when Keith Thurman, people were crying about, oh, Keith Thurman, he's ducking all these guys. He's not really hurt. He's not really injured. He's been gone for 2 years. In the 2 years that he's been gone, other than Terrence Crawford moving to welterweight, and recently, up until recently, like 3 months ago, Sean Porter beating Danny Garcia, no one really did anything of significance in the welterweight division. Now, the only reason why I say Terrence Crawford did something significant because he moved up from 140, and then he was able to win the welterweight title in his first his first fight at welterweight. So, yes, he did something that was significant. But it took somebody to move up from 140 to do something in the welterweight division significant when all these other guys in the welterweight division was already sitting there. You know, people want to say Earl Spence is the boogeyman, you know what I'm saying? Or Sean Porter, his style is too hard to beat. Nobody want to fight him. Danny Garcia, he's good. Yeah, Danny Garcia is good. Earl Spence is good. Sean Porter is good. None of these guys, like I said, up until when Sean Porter defeated Danny Garcia for the vacant WBC title that Keith Thurman vacated. Now, see, he had to vacate one of his belts for someone other than Terrence Crawford to do something significant at welterweight, because this is Sean Porter's excuse why he didn't really do anything at welterweight. He was waiting on Keith Thurman. What the hell you waiting on Keith Thurman for? Earl Spence was there all this time for a year and a half, 2 years. Yeah, it took you a little while to fight Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia was sitting there. Ugas is there. It's some other welterweights that's sitting there. Why you waiting on Keith Thurman? Why any of y'all using that excuse that y'all waiting on Keith Thurman? He said the reason why the welterweight division was held up is because everybody waiting on Keith Thurman. What the hell y'all waiting on Keith Thurman for? Let him heal up. Let him come back. Meanwhile, y'all should be mixing it up fighting. It took Keith Thurman to vacate one of the belts for you and Danny Garcia to fight, to come together and fight. No one wants to take the risk. No, everybody want to say that they're great, but no one wants to take the risk that associates with greatness. If you want to be great, you're gonna have to take some risks. You just can't skate through and say, "Oh, I'm great," or barely get by and say, "Oh, I'm great," or let everybody tell you the boogeyman in Earl Spence when you're not the boogeyman. I kept telling people, there's no, first of all, there's no such thing as boogeyman. Second of all, I told everybody that the man wasn't a boogeyman, but I knew it was going to eventually go to his head. And it went to his head when he told Terence Crawford, he told Terence Crawford, "I'm the boogeyman of the division." That's fans talking. So you know that Earl Spence was feeling himself. He was talking about from what a fan perspective was saying that he was the boogeyman. So he's reading his own press clippings, or he's reading his own video titles, the video titles about him being the so-called boogeyman. But when Terence Crawford said, "Let's fight," oh, this and that. Terence Crawford said, "Hey, what about, did Al Heyman name me as a possible opponent?" Oh, no, he didn't say nothing about you. Come on, man. And then you got everybody out here speaking for Earl Spence. We're not going to take that fight right now in Floyd Mayweather. We're not going to take that fight right now in Derrick James. Or we're not going to take that fight right now in the president for PBC. We're not going to take that fight right now. So it's confirmed. And then, Earl Spence said out of his mouth, "We're not going to take that fight right now." He the boogeyman, but he's not ready to fight. He not ready to mix it up, but he's the boogeyman. Like, come on, y'all. Stop it. There's no boogeyman, man. The last person I even thought was the boogeyman, like I said, I was young. I thought it was Mike Tyson. It's no one of recent time of me looking at boxing that was more of a boogeyman than Mike Tyson. And Earl Spence don't meet that criteria. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just sorry. I'm sorry. Right now, he better worry about Mikey Garcia, because I hear what people are saying about Mikey Garcia being with Victor Conte. They have a case in saying that, because, like I said, if I was Mikey Garcia, I'm pretty sure you can go find someone without the past that Victor Conte has, and you can work with someone else and get the same results. I understand people looking at Victor Conte like he's clean and his image is cleaned up. That it may be true. His image may be cleaned up, but I'm just saying, from a person from the outside looking in, I would not want to be associated with that, seeing that Victor Conte has a past, and that's what people are going to say. They're going to say that, "Oh, Mikey Garcia with Victor Conte because he's cheating." You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't think Mikey Garcia is cheating until proven otherwise. That's my thing about this whole steroid allegations. I don't just go around throwing around the steroid allegations towards people. No, because you ruin people's reputation. My thing is this: if you fail a test, then I'm gonna get on you. If you don't fail a test, I'm not gonna get on you. Now, I'm not gonna get on Mikey Garcia and say he's on steroids in any way, shape, or form. But I'm saying the optics of him being with Victor Conte, I would not want that in my circle. That's just me. But Mikey Garcia can do whatever he wants to do. He's a grown man. Let him make his decisions. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I would have found someone else, because forever, it's another person out there that's probably just as good as Victor Conte or better. You know what I'm saying? You can find someone else without getting that. Because if he goes in here and beats Earl Spence and destroys Earl Spence, and let's just say, for instance, he go in here and outclass Earl Spence, knock him down a couple times or whatever. You know what people gonna say? He was with Victor Conte. That's the first thing people gonna say. Now, I think Mikey Garcia got a chance based on his skills. But like I said, Earl Spence is the favorite. You have to give Earl Spence the favorite because he's been at welterweight his whole career that I know of. his whole career, and he's fought some at 154. Him, Sean Porter, and Keith Thurman has fought at 154. So they are big welterweights. I think Sean Porter fought at 160. I think Sean Porter got a couple fights at 160. I'm not sure. I have to go back and look, but I believe Sean Porter himself got a couple fights at 160. So you have to give Errol Spence. You have to say Errol Spence is the favorite. Somebody that's look, somebody that's heavily supporting Mikey Garcia just through thick and thin will probably tell you that Mikey is the favorite. But knowing boxing the way I know boxing, Errol Spence is the favorite. Can Mikey beat him? Yes, he can upset him. He can beat him. Because if Mikey Garcia can come in there and limit the amount of damage that he receives round by round, if Mikey is still fresh in his round, if Mikey is still fairly fresh and it's like round 6, this is going to be a tough fight going down the stretch for Errol Spence. Because like I told people, a lot of people act like Errol Spence is the first guy to ever have a body attack and not get nullified with his body attack. Chavez Sr. had a crazy body attack, but he lost fights. Even with that body attack that he had. Go look at the fight with him and Pernell Whitaker. A lot of people are like, well, Mikey Garcia is not Pernell Whitaker. No, but he has an IQ like a Pernell Whitaker. He can move and maneuver his body different angles to nullify a body attack. And go look how, and I'm gonna tell y'all right now, Pernell Whitaker did not really move out of his way to nullify Chavez's body attack. Go look at what he did. I'm not gonna explain to people. I want people need to start doing their own research, because a lot of people are so lazy they want people to do everything for them. Ever since this YouTube thing has exploded, younger generations can go and look at stuff on YouTube. They don't have to do crazy research like I had to do when I was their age. We didn't have YouTube, so we had to do crazy research and find out things. Y'all got things at the push of a button, and y'all still lazy. So just go Google. I mean, not go Google. Go on YouTube and look up Chavez Sr. versus Pernell Whitaker. Or McCullen. He had the body snatcher had a crazy body attack, but he lost fights. So yes, your body attack can break down your opponent. Yes, it can. If the opponent do not have the ring IQ to nullify. Oh, go look at his recent fight. Go look at Errol Spence's recent fights. Especially the one with Kell Brook. Kell Brook was able to nullify his body attack until Kell Brook, to me, in my opinion, I thought Kell Brook got tired. I thought he got tired down the stretch in that fight. After round 6, I think Kell Brook had hit a wall. Because Kell Brook, in my opinion, gets so big in between weight, you know what I'm saying, in between fights, that he has to lose a lot of weight. That's why I think he was kept postponing the fight with Errol Spence, because he was trying to come down in weight. He was trying to, Brook gassed out. And then once you find your back up against the ropes with a guy that can go to the body as well as Errol Spence can, or Chavez Sr. can, they're going to eat your body up. Because look at Errol Spence. He does not really go to the body heavy. He doesn't throw heavy punishing body shots in the center of the ring. He throws heavy punishing body shots when you get your back up against the ropes. Mikey Garcia and his team understands that. This fight will be fought largely, if Mikey Garcia has, his plan in order. This fight will be fought largely in the center of the ring. And people can tell me what they want to tell me about Errol Spence has these skills that he has not shown. I don't believe that, because he would have used it versus Kell Brook. He did not show me anything when they was in the center of the ring. He looked like he was lost when they were fighting in the center of the ring. When the fight was in the center of the ring between him and Kell Brook, he looked lost. You gonna tell me that the skills that he's supposed to have, why didn't he use it in the fight where he was struggling in? Come on, man. Let's be real. Let's not talk. You have made Earl Spence move backwards. Yeah, you have to make Earl Spence move backwards because of the fact that if you look at that fight too and you hit a corner, I don't know if you're gonna get the same feed, but the feed that I seen when the fight first happened, when Derrick James knew that Earl Spence was losing that fight by round 4, he told Earl Spence, don't go backwards, keep going forward. Just keep going forward. Because they understand he understands like better than anybody Earl Spence's limitations. He's not finna win the fight on his back foot. He doesn't have the skills to win a fight on his back foot at that level. He can beat lower tier people probably on his back foot, but he's not going to beat the highest level people like a Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Danny Garcia. Definitely not Terrence Crawford. Definitely not Keith Thurman on his back foot. It's just not going to happen. You know, you can bluster and say all this stuff, man down, all that stuff. All that stuff is not going to help you when you get in the ring, and you have to have some sort of ring IQ. All he did in that fight versus Kell Brook, I give him a lot of credit. He was able to last longer and got a little bit stronger as the fight went on, and he fought harder. He did what he did harder, and Kell Brook couldn't deal with it, and he broke Kell Brook down. That's what happened. You know, if he gets in the ring with a Keith Thurman and a Terrence Crawford, he gonna have a hell of a time trying to beat those two fighters. Say what you want about Keith Thurman's ponytail, oh, he's light-skinned, did all this. Listen, other men judging other men on a physical is, that's a story for another day. But you can say all that stuff. He's El DeBarge and all. I heard all this stuff about Keith Thurman. One thing I know about Keith Thurman, he can fight. You can say all about all this stuff. You think he plays the flute, the man can fight. He's a man that you think plays the flute, that can fight. He's a man that got a ponytail that you think that you say he has a ponytail, but the man can fight. He looked like El DeBarge to you, but the man can fight. So all that stuff right there is not going to help Earl Spence when Keith Thurman gets in the ring. All that, he this, he that, he's just going to lose to a guy that plays the flute, look like El DeBarge, and has a ponytail. I mean, yeah, I heard people say Keith Thurman is somewhere playing the flute and all this crazy stuff, man. All this blustering, over sensationalize. People want to over sensationalize everything. They want to over sensationalize Earl Spence. Earl Spence gonna run through this guy. Earl Spence gonna run through that guy. Why didn't he run through Kell Brook in the first 6 rounds? If he's gonna run through people, no, you know why he didn't? Because he was at a different level, and Kell Brook was able to nullify what he does best for the time that he was able to nullify. Oh, yeah, don't forget yoga on the beach. Yeah, I know all this stupid stuff, man. I don't deal in that hyperbole, stupid banter. I don't do that, man. I just come on here and state my opinion backed up by empirical data, and I talk about facts. You know what I'm saying? I'm not pulling at the heartstrings. I'm not trying to push no agenda. I'm going to tell you what I see. That's it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. Hey, thanks for coming through, y'all. Who all came through, man. Hey, thanks for coming through. Thanks for coming through.